future. We're talking real money.
All right, let's rewind this. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're gonna try this again. What am I talking about? Oh! Several years ago, we got all excited. Many thousands of years ago.
Yeah,
we got very excited about the fact that the U.S. Department of Labor was going to aggressively manage the behavior of people who provided advice on retirement plans, particularly on rollovers of IRAs. It is the Wild West. When you go to roll over an IRA or a 403B
out of your retirement plan,
yeah, you get to roll into it. You end up getting often advice that is not just bad, it's abhorrent. It should be illegal, and that's what the Department of Labor thinks. They think it should be illegal. Now, what does the industry think? Well, that's been the problem. The Department of Labor has been trying to hold anyone who provides advice on any kind of a retirement plan to the 100% all the time fiduciary standard, and yet it keeps getting killed by the lawsuits from, people like insurance agents, Tom?
Well, that's because, Don, and welcome to Talking Real Money, that's because the little guy won't be able to get any more advice under this Labor Department law.
Bunkety bunk.
You won't be able to get the help you need from your friendly neighborhood insurance agent. And when we say help,
we'll take care of it for nothing. You just come to us. We're there.
When you say help, I put that in air quotes, right? I mean, really? Okay, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a fiduciary standard for any money that moves out of an ERISA type plan, which goes back to 1974 when they put the rules in.
Yep.
All that stuff moving out of those into, as Don said, an individual retirement account. And basically anybody in the world that manages individual retirement accounts, and there's a lot of people that do this, are going to sell you into products, are going to put you in high expense mutual funds, are going to do all kinds of things that are not in your 100% best interest. That's 100%. That's the key part, because basically everybody holds themselves out now as a fiduciary. And by the way, it's something like $1 trillion that moves out of employer sponsored plans into IRAs. So this is a new regulation.
It goes into effect in September of 2024. But they have a year to come into compliance.
Yes. Because it takes a long time to start telling people
tell people the truth.
Yeah, that would be painful and requires many therapy sessions, I'm sure. This would be required of all advisors, brokers, and insurance agents who provide advice on IRAs. And
the insurance agents hate
already.
the most.
Their lawyers are already churning it up.
Because insurance agents are held to the lowest standard of all who provide advice on your investments. They are held to the lowest standard. It's called, I don't think there is a standard.
No, there is no standard.
It's called there are state regulators who basically do nothing. But it means, get this, one, they're going to have to tell the truth, but it also eliminates all the fun stuff, like the sales incentives and dinners and trips and all of the stuff that the industry's been giving their people forever because the commissions are so high, and commissions will be prohibited.
Listen to this from the Wall Street Journal. Among other things, the new regulation will require advisory firms to have policies and procedures to manage conflicts of interest and ensure they're receiving reasonable compensation. That is a big fat joke.
Reasonable,
because who knows what that is?
What is reasonable?
And when this was proposed, the White House said the measure would increase retirement savers' returns by between 0.2 and 1.2% a year. I have no idea how they come up with that.
Well, it's probably just comparing the average fees for a broker insurance agent sold account with those that come through true fiduciaries right now.
And you
remember, we looked at plans where we've seen plans at 3%.
Oh, yeah. Yep, we have. And again, according to the Journal, the new regulation, and you'll be glad to hear this, Don, is likely to have the greatest impact on insurance agents.
Annuities.
Why? Yeah, because
Go get
They're
it.
going to have to introduce annuities with lower costs and commissions and shorter surrender periods that should produce higher returns.
Yep. Makes me happy as can be.
Because for those people that just say, I just don't want to deal with this, I want to hand this to somebody else, and I'm going to buy an annuity because they're going to give me a guaranteed payout over whatever number of years. I don't care that it's worth half as much in 20 years. I don't care how much it costs me. I don't care. I just want my check every darn month. That's it. You'll still be able to do that from what I can see here, correct?
Yes. And here's the thing. The fact that they're saying they're not going to get advice, they're not getting advice now. The customers aren't getting advice. They're getting a sales pitch. And to make that your argument is disingenuous at best and an absolute blatant lie at worst. It's just the industry trying to protect its golden egg-laying goose, gold, as we talked about in a previous podcast.
We did.
Yeah, and it's still not worth as much as it was in 80, those poor eggs. The industry is scrambling. They're really, the insurance industry particularly, but the brokers too, they're scared of this rule.
Okay, but let's give a little history lesson here. You mentioned this has gone back. I think it goes all the way back to the Great Recession of 2008.
Yeah,
where some of these rule changes were proposed because they said, wait, people really did not get treated very well in this period of time. And by the way, they got treated a lot worse 25, 30 years ago when there was absolutely, other than ERISA, basically no rules around any of this. So this was tried to put into place before. It got watered down, right? Then it got kind of
down. It
thrown
got
out.
killed.
Yeah, it got thrown out again. And so, I mean, I got to ask you, I know you're not a predictor, but what's going to happen with all this? I mean,
it's going to court. It's going to court.
For sure.
No doubt it's going to court.
But is it going to do any? Are we going to actually see a system? And this is most people. If you ask people on the sidewalk, 100 people, is your financial advisor, because everybody's a financial advisor now, are they acting in your best interest? Most people are going to say, yeah.
Of course
sure they are.
They're nice.
They're nice. They're my friends.
Yeah, it's a friend of mine.
It is.
Of course, they always take good care of
fill in
me.
the blank. Service club, church, wherever it was.
I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're living in a fantasy world, because the fact is that the vast majority of those who provide you with financial advice in this country are not always required to act in your best interests under a fiduciary standard. Now, of course, the SEC has this new watered-down best interest standard, which is bunk. It's practically worthless. It doesn't have any teeth, and that's what will probably happen to this, is that some court somewhere is going to rule that this thing violates their right to rip you off. They won't say it that way, but that's what the whine is. Well, they're taking away my right to just lie to people and sell them whatever I want and make a living.
A good living.
Great living.
Can we go ahead and make this statement and get away with it? Insurance agents are not financial advisors.
Nope.
Can we say that?
No. Well, no, because technically they can call themselves financial advisors if they want to.
Well, can the person making my wife's latte call themselves a financial advisor? I mean, where is the line drawn?
There is no line, because there is no definition, no legal definition of the term financial advisor. Now, I believe it would probably be a very good thing to give that term a legal definition and require that those who use that term in any way, shape, manner, or form be required to live up to some standard.
Which
I don't know what it is.
May or may not be the always in the client's best interest, but something better than what it is today. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something better than what it is.
All
But
right.
We're likely not to see much impact from this. What is important about this rule being enacted is the media attention it gets.
I was just getting to that. That was my point number 3.
Yeah, so that you are now aware that in most cases, your advisor is not acting in your best interest. You need to face that reality.
And that's hard for many people because, as you said, advisors become friends. They become, in some ways, I've seen it like, well, that was the advisor that helped my dad. So I just decided to hire him because he helped my dad or my neighbor, whatever it is. It's that relationship that starts rather than saying, I tell this to people all the time. Do you believe that there is some sort of Santa Claus when it comes to investing, that some person that can pick stocks or time markets or have a product for you that's going to make a lot of money with no risk? No, I don't believe that. Then you can't follow that firm's advice because that's truly what they are telling you. That's the part you need to pay attention to.
My favorite question is, do you consult a psychic for serious advice about the rest of your future? Anybody who predicts the financial future is no different than a psychic. They're charlatans.
Indeed. Okay, but here's another question that comes up when I talk about fiduciaries. Fiduciaries is that a guarantee that my interest will be represented by the firm? This is another one that comes up.
No, because we're all people. Every single soul has a conflict of interest on something. We give conflicted advice because we're self-interested. The difference is that someone who is required, and let's use your doctor. Can your doctor give you bad medical advice? Of course. We've heard, you see lawsuits all the time, but it's easier to sue a doctor for giving bad advice than it is to sue a non-fiduciary financial advisor, because the courts are going to hold that, hey, they weren't supposed to tell you the truth.
And at least if you use a fiduciary, the odds, I would say, are on your favor far better than using an insurance agent, broker.
And you've got to cudgel. You've got to cudgel. There are horrible fiduciary investment advisors out there. I could give you a number of names.
Sure. We've run into them. Yeah.
They are not fiduciaries. They claim to be fiduciaries, but at least with them, if they do something that harms you, you have the stick to hit them with. It's called the courts.
So we'll see what happens in the next 3-4 months. There'll be lawsuits, no question. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens in the next year when this is supposed to be implemented. And it's your money. You need to know 100% if this is a 100% fiduciary advisor. You need to know what they believe as investment advisors. Are you building a passive, diversified, low-cost portfolio, or do you hire somebody that says, no, I could have told you buy Tesla when it was down 43% this year because it's going straight back. Whatever it is, you need to know those things, because at the end of the day, this is your money, not theirs.
And let me end this with this paragraph from this Wall Street Journal article we're talking about. There is a lobbying group for the insurance retirement industry. It's called the Insured Retirement Institute. And they say, well, there's no need for this regulation, since under current state laws, remember, insurance agents are only regulated under state laws. Under current state laws, insurance agents are required to act in the best interests of customers. Since when?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that day to come.
The best interest, folks at the Insured Retirement Institute, is it in a client's best interest to put them in an annuity that they didn't even know paid their salesperson a commission, that they didn't know had a surrender charge, that they were locked into for years, that they didn't know was likely to pay them a whole lot less than the agent alluded to? Come on, that's not best interest. That's obfuscation. Well, in many cases, it's just lying.
And this industry has a lot of it. All right, time for a few questions here. Tammy from Port Townsend, beautiful Port Townsend, Washington. Hi, Don and Tom. Really enjoy your show. Listen to every one. That's a lot of shows. I mean, what have we done now?
About 1,500 online right
There
now.
was a guy that had told us that, but I don't know if he still does that. All right, I just recently subscribed to Keith Fitz-Gibbons OBA. He advocates that simply having a diverse portfolio only keeps you from not losing, but does not give you the best portfolio to win. He advises concentration over diversification. It can get quite complicated, but if someone has a lot of time and interest, do you recommend this approach?
1,000% no.
Oh, 1,000%.
I know. I made up a real number that doesn't exist. Why? You're spending, what is it?
$1,200?
$1,200, $1,300 a year for his newsletter?
That tells you when to be in, when to be out, what to buy, what to sell.
He doesn't really make it clear.
Yeah, one of those newsletters.
He says a lot. He has a lot of, he uses a lot of words. He calls himself a certified gearhead and optimist. He loves motorcycles, but he says he's been a researcher and an analyst, but he doesn't say where. He can't know the future. I mean, that's the fact. That's an absolute fact. I mean, I don't believe any of these people. I think they lie. And
this is someone who doesn't believe in diversification, apparently, either.
Which, by the way, every academic on the planet believes is better than trying to pick the right place to be at the right time.
So Keith says only buy the stocks that go up. You wouldn't want to own the other ones because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what his CV is. Yeah, I'm aware of it, but let's see. Keith Fitz-Gerald.
With the hyphen.
You got to have the hyphen. Keith, let's see if he's on LinkedIn. I just can't find much on him other than his own stuff. Let's see. No, he's not even on LinkedIn. Huh. Isn't that curious? Let's see if I can find his resume. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this. He calls himself a finance futurist. That alone tells me
that scares me. Anybody who says, here's what tomorrow is going to look like. Yeah.
You can't predict the future, and to claim to do so is nothing short of a lie.
Yep.
It's a lie. Keith, I don't even worry about calling you a lie, because the fact of the matter is, if you say you can predict the future with consistency and accuracy, you're a liar, because nobody can.
Nobody
knows. It's literally impossible. Nobody knows. You can guess. Now, if you said financial future guesser, okay.
That's not as good a brand, though. I could say that.
I'll give you that one. I'll say you are absolutely telling the truth, Fitz. I am a guesser. I am a professional futuristic guesser.
All right. Let's move on. Sandy from White River Junction, Vermont, where you will not be going as part of your cross-country trip.
Far north. No,
that's way up there. You'll have to come south if you want to see Don.
I have too much family to visit along the way. We don't have enough time.
Great. Hi, Don and Tom. Been listening to your show for a long time. Thank you both for what you do. My question is this. I'm 60 years old, retired from the government. I receive a pension and Social Security supplemental until I'm 62. At 62, the supplemental goes away. Question. What is the best way to cover the gap from losing the supplemental if I want to wait until 65 to claim Social Security? I have $600,000 in traditional, and I guess it must be traditional and Roth, and $125,000 in cash, CDs, T-bills. Oh, no, he says traditional Roth. He must mean traditional IRA because he has a Roth that is very small. Any thoughts about covering the supplemental loss by taking half out of the traditional Roth, half out of cash to make up the difference until I'm 65. Then Social Security would begin at age 65. So it's kind of covering these gap years between 62 and 65.
I got to tell you, I'd cover the gap years for longer.
I was just going to get to that. At least FRA, full retirement age.
Yeah, I would cover the gap years. It's still worth it unless your investments are making you consistently 8% per year or more.
And for that, you need to see Keith
making that. Yeah, maybe Keith can do that because he can predict the future. But I would suggest that you have enough. You have enough to fund those.
We don't know because you don't know how much you're spending. But yes, the first part should come from the cash CDs.
I know what the differences are between collecting Social Security early and later, and it's at best a couple of $1,000 a month.
Yeah, but we don't know how much of a difference when he loses the supplemental until he gets to Social Security. So this should be pretty easy order, though. I would pick the cash CDs, T-bills first.
Right. And then
because
the
on that
IRA.
stuff, there's not going to be taxation or very little. And then on the IRA would be next because that's going to be taxed at regular income tax rate, and then hang on to that Roth probably as long as you can. That would be the order for me.
Yeah, I would at least get to FRA because it makes a huge
if
difference.
He's 60, he's going to be 67.
Right.
That's a topic for a future show. New survey out about what people think, how people think we should cover the projected shortfall in Social Security, which is 10 years away.
Everybody said, please cut my benefit.
Oh, yeah, just no problem.
Everybody said that.
Or I'll give so much back to, et cetera. So, yeah. No, can we give away a little sneak peek?
No, rich people said, hey, tell you what, I'll just write a little check.
That's close to what other people said, we should cover the
That'll be on one of next.
Okay.
Actually.
Whenever.
Okay, here's the confusing part. That will have already been a podcast.
This is one of those kind of things, huh?
Yeah, because this podcast airs in a couple of weeks. So
speaking of Back to the Future,
that podcast will have already aired.
This is painful.
Check back. It was already there.
You'll find out what we all thought should be done about Social Security.
Should be like last Tuesday, I think, somewhere around there. I'm guessing.
Okay,
I can predict the past.
He can't even predict given much less about the future.
Yeah, no, I can predict the past. From the future, I can predict the past.
Good work, man.
Or from the now, I'm predicting the future.
I think you should just leave it at that. It's confusing enough.
The future,
I think you should just pray that the silver bullet goes the entire 7,000 miles this summer. So, by the way,
Stella is a happy camper. So
all right, a happy camper, as it were. So you can go online right now to talkingrealmoney.com, and right on the homepage is Don's map, his trip.
It is it's fun. Unless I've changed it, which I probably will have done by now.
Yeah,
it's a rough itinerary.
We don't know when this is. Yes, right, correct.
But I'm starting to flesh it out as you say, hey, why don't you stop here?
And you already have some suggestions.
I don't know where to stop until you tell me where to stop.
Yeah, easy to go there and tell them.
If you just say, hey, Don, stop in Florida. Don't go any further.
That's a good one, too. I hadn't even thought of that. I'll go on the website this afternoon.
Because Tom built the
That's true. I did spend the money on the...
He built the cockpit,
the runway,
RV park.
There, the hookup, the pavement.
Pizza
it's all
and
there.
RV parking.
There's a combo there somewhere. There's got to be something that works for people. Sure. So
it's got like an amusement park in the backyard. He's got the zip line. Zip line working?
Zip line works. Pool works.
Oh, the
burning
WTP's
pit works. Yep. Not open yet because it still haven't quite cracked 75 on a consistent basis. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's all ready.
I am going to be living in style.
Some Rolling Rock beer and jump in the pool. There you go. You're all set. So
do we have to do Rolling Rock?
I don't know. It's cheap. I'm trying to cut costs here. So
I'll spring for the beer.
All right. Fair enough.
You spring for the WTP.
Yeah,
you guys can figure out what the WT stands for.
That's not hard to do, but we're not going to say it. Okay.
All right.
There you go.
It's above ground. Think about it.
Thank you for joining
above ground.
That's not hard either.
You know, some people in the Seattle area do actually have in-ground pools.
They do. There's 4 people. I think I know all of them.
I counted them from the air as we were flying in on Delta. I was like, okay, 1. Oh, there's a pool. All right, you want to talk to Tom? Go to talkingrealmoney.com and click on Meet an Advisor. He meets with people on the weekends. Otherwise, one of our other advisors will meet with you.
I meet with them on weekdays. People call me almost every day. So happy to chat.
And you are really happy to do that?
I love it. It's my favorite part of the job.
It's like today, and I know this was not the day, but I was at a career
whatever
fair
day it was, yeah,
at our local high school, and I was talking about podcasting and voice acting. Well, first off, what's the number one thing you think kids want to do of those two things?
I will say voice acting because they don't know what to do on a podcast.
They want to be in cartoons.
Makes sense.
And video games. But sitting next to me was a good friend of mine who used to work for Microsoft. He developed, I think he helped develop web TV. And then he's an entrepreneur. He created another company that ended up being Google Shopping. They bought it for like $200
gazillion. Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant man. So he was doing entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Starting your own company.
It said on his sign, on his table, entrepreneur. Entre with an E. You know how to spell entrepreneur, right, Tom?
E-N-T-R-E, right? P-R-E, yeah. Yeah, got it.
Somebody, one of the kids at the high school comes over and goes, oh, how do you learn how to become an interpreter?
Oh, that's painful, but
he was going to say, first, go to remedial reading.
Then
you learn another language.
Call me after that. Yeah.
An entrepreneur, an interpreter.
And you and I both are entrepreneurs too. We've started many companies over the years. Some good, some bad, all those kind of things. So
way
fun.
Too many.
Yeah, true.
Not anymore. Yeah, we'll probably do it again.
You're going to say that, but I'm going to say never say never.
I'm Don. Tom's over there. And no matter what we do, somehow we'll still end up talking real money.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services. Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. And the lawyers get richer.